Yeah. So thank you for that. I was like, I don't know. I was just like, I get like a few minutes. I'll go do a quick stream. The reason why the audio wasn't working is I've got this. It's kind of nice, but kind of annoying. I've got a USB hub that has like everything routed through it, and it has all these little buttons to turn power on and off, which is super handy in some ways if I don't want something like in or connected. And it's super annoying because it's got these LED lights to show you if the power's on or off, and half of them don't work. So I was sitting there like toggling, thinking I was adjusting the camera up here and was not. Anyway, I will just kind of start over again because what the heck? Nobody wants to hang out if there's no audio, and you have no idea what I was talking about. So, yeah, Timber over on his Discord server has for almost a year now been running a weekly sample Saturday. He posts up a sample on Saturday. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the MPC sample and just load up the sample. I tried doing some stuff on the MPC Excel. So what I was thinking is try and start here, see if I can import stuff over to the Excel, see how that goes. Or maybe I'll just try and finish some stuff over here. I took the sample, and what I was motioning here and describing was, I've got this track. I pitched it down, and because we only have 16 chops, because you only have 16 chops, normally, like especially on like the XL or the other ones where you have 128 chops, I would probably do like quarter notes, 16th, eighth notes, whatever. We only have 16 here, and I want to get a large portion of the track. So what I was trying to, like, my hand gestures were that I did one bar. I basically did one bar chops. So if we go into chop mode here, I got the whole track. Man, it's so hard to see with through OBS. I don't know how to because I can't adjust the camera here. I don't know. I'm gonna have to spend some more serious time trying to figure out how to make the screen easier to look at on a stream. But if I zoom in, let's see. Yeah, you can kind of see the chop points a little bit better. Effectively, what I did, as I said, was like one bar. So I can like let it kind of play through a bit here and have like different sections. So basically the choice is like, do I let it play for a whole bar? Do I just kind of like tap a note a couple times for like a quarter note or something? Depends on how you want to play it. I think I kind of did a lot of like quarter note or half note stuff, and then added in like some extra variation by putting in some extra notes. But when you bring it into chop mode, when you have something that's long, I put it into manual mode, which is the far right, and basically just you have one pad. I can go kind of work through this if somebody wants to see it, but you end up with one pad. Then you just every time you tap an empty pad, it will create a new chop. I did that, and then instead of just going by ear, like some of those chops were a little bit off, so I went back through, zoomed in on the different spots, and adjusted it to be closer to the start point, and ended up with, I mean, if I muted everything else, I guess you could hear it, but let's go get out of chop. If I mute stuff, this is kind of what I ended up with. And part of the reason why I'm doing this, there's like been some clips or pops. I don't know how to find out where they're coming from. It doesn't seem to be this track. I was noticing last night when I was working on this, I was like, I don't know where these pops are coming from. So I got to find that out, which when you'd messaged to say audio isn't working, I was starting to try and like think through like how I'm going to do it. So there's a couple of things that sound like a little not great, but they're not popping. I don't think it's this bass. And maybe it is. It's a little noisy. And I got this like it's a like a lo-fi, not a lo-fi, but it's like an 8-bit low-end synth sound. It might help just to filter it a little bit. So let's stay on classic. I'm definitely hearing it there. Filter's not doing anything. I'm on the wrong pad. Oh, I probably was just editing the wrong pad. Okay, let's get out of mute here. Just undo the whole thing. Make it less confusing for me. I was already filtering it pretty good. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it in my headphones. Do I have any of these effects turned on? It might be picking up noise from knob effects too. Let's go set it back to not delay. We want the low pass filter. It's all the way open. And the compressor might be accentuating some of those clicks. Something's doing it. What the heck? Okay, let's leave it there. I'm pretty sure it's like around like the 3 or 4. So by default, the play button is always play start. You have to hold shift for it. It says continue, but if you hold shift and play, you can play from wherever you want in the timeline. Like that's pretty bad. Is it just on the right on the 4.1? It's gonna be hard to tell kicking into it. I can also see we're clipping, so let's bypass the... Oops, I didn't mean to hit... Let's bypass the compressor. I accidentally halved the speed. Whoops. What the heck did I do? I just did a bunch of stuff that... half speed, not... I'm gonna double speed. There we go. And I would say this would probably be much easier to do on the XL. So maybe I'll just take this and see if we can load it up over there. Because I could just explode the tracks and then isolate them a little bit easier. Sequence. So let's just leave this. We'll just take the whole thing out. So it could just be a mixing problem. we can take the loudest things and try and just drop the levels. Let's go sample here. Okay, this is assigned to volume. Let's bring this down. Bring the kicks down a bit. Those are way too loud. All right, we probably were massively clipping. I mean, it was in the red, so makes sense. I hope they do invest some time in making it so it doesn't pop when you switch between color and non-color. That one's kind of annoying. Let's go back to red vinyl. There we go. That's closer to what I had for settings. I think I'll have to turn all that stuff. I gotta bypass it now if I'm going to go back to what I rendered. I was curious if what I rendered last night was still doing all right. All right, we're gonna go to Bank B. Got Pad FX off. Bank B. So this is the one that I resampled. It's gonna have all the pops and issues. It just sounds like way too dirty. All right, maybe it's just time to bring it over to the XL and see what we can do. All right. Gonna export this, shift project, save. Let's call it Tim51. This is 51st. And then we array. Come erase, erase, erase. We're on external, right? Internal, we want external do it. And then we can bring this over to the MPC and see if we can load it. I haven't actually tried this yet, so I don't, it may fail immediately and I might just say, we're done. But I kind of wanted to do, I'd like to explode this at this point, and I want to see how like the explode works, and then be able to do like some better mixing and a few other things. All right, we're gonna shut down. I think you can actually eject this. I don't have it hooked up to you over USB to the XL, so all right. Let's see if this looks okay. Looks fine. So good start there. We'll get the SD card into here, put it in the front, new project, and let's go through and MPC sample. I believe it puts in MPC samples projects. Here's some of the, I've been goofing around doing some Super Monkey Ball, old GameCube game, goofing around flipping some stuff, but let's see if this loads. It's good. Failed with parameter partial preset name. 3 plugins failed. That's fine. We can switch stuff over. The real question is, does it sound fine? All right, that's a good sign. I think so. The update is probably going to actually have the, my guess would be, it's going to have the effects, or some of them at least, so that when you move over, it'll import them correctly, because it just popped up the message saying that the effects aren't there. It seems like at least it understands how to read most of the file format. So, and the other thing is, I've read, and I've seen a few folks, Rawl, I think was who was the first one I saw, but you can actually take a MPC project, and as long as it's only, I think as long as it's only got one track, you can actually, and that track is a drum track, you can save it, and then you can, on the MPC sample, tell it to just load up the track, and it seems like it loads it up fine. Maybe like it's not going to carry over all the effects, but it seems like there's some of the effects are over there. MPC Tutor over on MPC forums did confirm that things like the round robin and other stuff that is unavailable on the MPC sample is actually able to load, and you can get like round robin. You just can't edit it after the fact. So there's like a lot of cool stuff that you can program over, or take like some of your expansions, bring them over, because you'll have like the reverb and other effects seem like they work. I'm assuming the more advanced stuff might be questionable, like the modulation, routing, and matrix stuff. Obviously, any MPCE stuff's not going to work over there, but I think you can do some cool stuff, so. Yeah, I mean, like, it depends on what you're trying to do with the MPC sample. To me, like, if it's just like kind of a sketch pad, and like for me, like I just was able to, like, I can't bring this MPC XL around the house with me, and I'm probably not traveling with it. So, like, there's not enough room to use this on an airplane, for example, but I can see using the MPC sample. You're just enough to, like, I mean, 128 pads is plenty for me to go like flesh out a track. I actually don't mind working on lower equipped devices, and the MPC sample actually seems like it's got a processor that's very similar and very capable to like the MPC 1, Live 1 and 2, and MPC X and XSE. I mean, I think it's got 2 gigs of memory, so it's very possible. I don't think Akai is going to go blow the doors off and turn it into one of those devices, but anything that they want to bring over, they certainly can. All right, let's I mean, this is like what I'm just going to treat this as what I would normally do with a usual drum kit, where I've got a drum kit and I now need to actually figure out some of the arrangement stuff. So I think it's just going to be, actually, no, sorry, wrong one, wrong menu. We're going to go here. We're going to go explode track. And what this will, for folks that haven't done this, what this does is it takes each pad or pad group. So if you've got like pad mutes or pad links set up, it should carry over. So yeah, so like one of the things that I did on the MPC sample is I pad linked to kicks. So like this one will just play the one, but this should be playing both of them together. I'm not a super fan of how pad links work, only because it seems like, and I have to either read up in the manual more to confirm or just mess with it, but it basically on the MPC sample, you put in a number, which is the pad number that it will link to, and you have 1 through 16. So unlike the SP404 Mark II, where you create a group, which is what I initially thought it was supposed to do, and I was like, why is this not working? You basically just assign like the other pad that it points at, and then will trigger, which I guess it's fine. It just feels a little weird because I feel like the pad groups make more sense, especially since that's how, at least on the MPC, like the main MPC line, pad mutes, like you just put them into a group, and pad linking just feels a little weird. So anyway, we have now we've got this kick track, we got a snare track, and you'll notice like the only one pad is lighting up because basically what it's doing is it makes multiple copies of the initial program and just brings over the one sound for that event. So that's why it's kind of like bouncing around here. But this will have all of our chops. And I could go further at this point because we now have access from 16 chops. I could go do 128. In fact, let's go sample edit. Whoops. I wanted right here. Let's go sample edit. So we have the whole thing. I'm just curious. Okay, it does have the chops, so clearly you can add more to it. The issue, though, with the way that the MPC sample is doing it is it's basically using your 16 levels, so you only have 16 chops available to you. And for folks that don't know, 16 levels is basically like a mod effect to the pad. So instead of it telling the pad to play like a different MIDI note, what it's effectively doing is you're just assigning the mod type, and you only get one, which is like filter, velocity, semitone for like pitch or whatever. Like there's like a whole bunch of them that you get. Like I think there's a sample start and a few other ones, but they did add this slice, so you can do 16 slices. And even here, the only way that you're going to be able to get at more than 16 slices without is not use 16 levels. You have to basically just go do your shift and then go convert, and then convert it to a new drum kit. It's fine. Like it's one of those MPC isms. Like you just have to kind of know what you're trying to do and know that there's probably 2 or 3 different ways that have pros and cons, and kind of go with it. But we now have 11 tracks. So I technically don't really need this original track anymore. I could delete it, but this will let me at least play through, and like we can get into the mixer. I can start trying to figure out what the heck is happening. Why are we not seeing those play? Is it playing the original track? This is muted. Everything is like the routing weird or something here. IO. Oh, see, it's all going to submix. So they probably, my guess would be that Akai's planning on using the submix for doing like your pad effects or knob effects or something, or that's where the compressor will be, like all that stuff that it loaded up and said like it's not there. So if we go submix here, yeah, we can see. I actually think this is a behavior I don't want, because it's going to make it harder for me to I don't have a mixer, and there's no effects in here anyway, so there's really no reason to route everything to submix. Okay, why are you not changing? Is this hard-coded? What in the world? I/O. We've done this like a million times. So it is weird. Like this is all unavailable. Maybe there's just like something going on here that it's hard-coded and we can't change, which is a absolute bummer. Send IO. Can we? Weird. Okay, so I can button into it. Why is it doing this behavior? Okay, we're gonna go up here. Why did they all? I'm doing something wrong here, I think. I'm thinking about this in the wrong way, aren't I? Okay. Monitor auto, MIDI in, send to, audio. Did it not really change it or something? Okay. There we go. Why didn't it? Oh, maybe I just was looking and I didn't see anything moving because I don't have anything playing on that track at the time. Okay. It's also weird that it changed it for every single track. Like, so it says unavailable for most of them. What is going on here? I feel like we're not supposed to be doing this, but so it must actually be submix, and it's just rendering the. Don't trust your eyes, trust your brain, I guess. So they all are actually going to submix, even though they say out one. All right. Come on. We can do this. This is kind of weird. Let's see if I get some time later today. I'll file a bug or something. All right. Now we should be able to go. What is happening? Like we can see it's sending to, we're seeing out one now. I'm just apparently fighting with this. It must be hard-coded. All right, before I lose my mind, because maybe something else is going on here, let me load up we're just gonna go new project. I'm not gonna save any of this because it doesn't matter. We're gonna load up a new project, and I want to see the behavior because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Whatever this is. Okay. Go IO. Out 1 and 2. This would be where I want to send it to submix. Oh, is this not changing what I expect it to? No, this is doing what I want. It's just like I don't have anything happening on that plugin. So IO 1 and 2. And if I send it to 3 and 4, we can't hear it, which makes sense because I don't have. Okay, that's too loud, but now I can send it to the SP404 Mark II. Right. Yeah, there's something weird going on there then. It is not routing audio where I'm telling it to. maybe we'll see that fixed in a future update. So I'm going to do this. We'll go load it back up. There's always goofy ways we can try and do this, and I've been trying to think through what I want to do here. Let's go back to new project. Don't save. We'll load this back up, and I guess I can just do track mutes one at a time to at least get like a rough mix, and then just do it by ear. To me, getting the kick right, and so we need to go mixer. Oh, we want to explode it first. Let's go back. No, not copy to pad. It's going too fast. Explode track. So what I'm going to do is I'll do track mutes. We'll do one at a time. I'll keep an eye on like roughly where the bass and the kicks are, and kind of just fill everything else in from there. Let's go delete the first track. There's absolutely no reason to have this anymore. We're going to go to track mute. All right. We're going to get rid of everything except for the kick. All right, we can go to the mixer. We're going to just do this the goofy way. So we're at like negative 2.82 dB, which is way too loud and will absolutely be clipping problems. So let's go back to main. I'm just going to drop this about 6 dB. So I'm going to try and hit about negative 9 dB. I'm going to reset this. Man, it's still, even with dropping that, do we have like an effect going on the track? No effect. Why are we spiking so hard? Is the send pre, or it might be pre? Yeah, it's pre, so it's not, it doesn't matter what I change on this. Okay, next option is grid edit. We can just do automation and velocity, I guess, and bring these down. 25%. Let's see how this does. Negative 5 dB, still not enough. Let's go back to grid 60. Because if we go, just have to drop everything by 60, like we can do that and then kind of go from there. Negative 7. Man, this thing's just a big old ball of sunshine to edit 40. Okay, that's at negative 10, so we want to go a little bit higher. No, grid edit. 45. Negative 9.6. A little bit higher. Whoops. 48. All right. 48% seems to be pretty good. Now, I don't have all of these. I can't confirm all of the tracks are like this kick sounds like it's just, I just was hitting it full velocity the whole time. So what I'm going to do, go back to actually main. The reason why I'm trying to do like figure out roughly what the math is, I want to go velocity and go 48% on all of these tracks so that it's scaling everything instead of just like hard dropping everything, because I can't be 100% sure. I need to also find a place to mount this TX6, but we'll just start by dropping everything to 48% and then kind of go from there. because this is, I know this looks super annoying, and it is because we just can't route stuff correctly. Whoops, went too far. This is not how I would want anybody to have to do this, but whatever. We're trying to make some progress on this track. 48, almost done. Then I can start unmuting stuff and deciding what to do. Okay. Track mute. See how everything sounds. Hey Sanwu, how you doing, man? It's a little bit of a spaceship. If you hadn't seen, I'm just taking an MPC sample track and trying to figure out how to get it to import into the XL. It does import pretty well. 3.71 firmware over here, though, doesn't have all the effects. So it gives a couple errors. But this track I've been working on for Timber's Sample Saturday, at least it plays, and I did like the effects stuff we can add in after. So I've basically just done a explosion for folks that are just joining. If you're curious, importing a track, there seems to be an issue with I/O. Like by default, it routes everything to submix 1, and I cannot change it, which is a real bummer. Yeah, it's just it's 8 a.m. over here, so my daughter's been off to school and all that fun stuff. All right, so we know that the kick and possibly the bass are hitting at -6 or -9 dB. Let's go back and track mute stuff, since we're gonna have to do like I can't use the mixer other than submix here. -14 dB. We can actually bump this up. So we'll go back to, no, we want to go here. Gonna close this out. Let's get a little bit more oomph here. -11. 65. I would have expected that to have had a little bit more impact, but 10. Let's go 80. -9. All right. See how everything sounds here. Just trying to listen if anything sounds like really misleveled. I'd like to bring the track up. I'm good over here, man. Been a couple months where I've been sporadically streaming or making videos. Took a mental break from doing all this stuff, so that was good. Took a trip to Scotland with my wife. My parents hung out with my daughter and dogs. Got construction going on in my house, which as soon as that starts up, I'm gonna have to stop streaming or recording. But let's go. Keep going. Okay, this is, we're on the track. I'm just gonna do this by ear. I think we can put, how are we doing if we, are we at -11, -10 dB? There is absolutely a click in there. All right. My wife and I hung out in Edinburgh, and we took a train over to Glasgow. So, is she doing anything fun over there? We just we walked 20 miles in like 3 days. What's that in kilometers? Like, must be like 28, 30 kilometers or something. We like walking a lot, so these clips, it's not the end of the world. we want amp envelope. All right, this is a thing that I do think. I've been talking with some folks on the forums. I'm a little confused why they don't, by default, do what they do on the XL and Live, which is have like a 1.1 millisecond envelope. Let's just start with a 1. No, we don't want 11. Can we do 1.1? We'll just do 1. Okay. 1. Do it. Is this just going to be giving me a hard time all day? It will only let me do 5 milliseconds. Let's go 80. I feel like I'm starting to lose my mind here, because I feel like I've done this plenty of times where it's just like, give me... It's just going to fight with me. Can I hold shift down? Okay. It won't let me select 1. Up 2 milliseconds, whatever. She's studying abroad. That's awesome. Hopefully she's studying something cool. My wife just got that was a year ago. She finished her healthcare information technology schooling. I'm thinking about going back to school. Don't know if I want to get something in like a security, computer security, data science. I don't know. My MBA that I got helped while I was in doing like a global management, but at this point, I'm not. All right, we're still getting those clips. I don't want to go too high. It might also just be better for me to try and find the busted shot point, which is probably the thing I should be doing here. Instead of me being lazy, we're just going to do it. Okay. Select the sample. Get the last one. Trim. And what do we need? We need to zoom in. We're going to hold shift and we're going to do 0 snap so that we can try and get some 0 cross points here. And we want to adjust the start point to be on 0 snap or 0 cross as best as possible. We'll just see if wiggling it. So that was one of the ones that was clipping or popping. That might immediately just make things better here. It's not as bad. All right, this track for timber is only allowed to be a minute long. So the question is, how much can we do here? We can go cut out different parts, or I can do some track automation here, record track mutes. Let's see, what's a good place to either start, or do we just delete notes? I heard it again. It might be just like where we're cutting into the next one. Let's just... I just find it so funny. I can't do 1 millisecond. All right. We're going to do something like this. I don't know. Let me copy the track. I'm going to be mad at myself if I don't duplicate this sequence and then cause myself all kinds of problems. We're going to go copy sequence 2, 3. Why is it called sequence 9? Seems kind of weird. And sequence 1. Oh, it must be exporting stuff based on sequences that oh, because that was the one I was editing. All right. Track mute. We got to turn this around kind of quick, right? I already did it wrong. We're not recording track mutes. I must have it not turned on. This is where I'm just losing my mind. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to remember. Track mute. Do you have to turn this on for it to record them now? I know they changed some of these things. I'm not caring for this, but I'm curious if it recorded it. Okay, it did. You just have to remember to turn automation right on. We can go a little other lazy way. Let's go undo. Where's the undo's over here? We can do like some filter sweeps or, oh, it did really record that in. Undo, add events. What in the world? This is why I backed it up. All right. Main. Copy this again. Just copy sequence over, do it. So instead, let's just talk about effects. What are we going to do on now? We don't have, did I track mute everything? No. We just don't have any events. I've really munched this up. Okay, what have I done? I thought I copied it. Oh, did I copy sequence? None of these have anything on them. Yeah. Now I'm understanding why I called it track 9, because on the I think what I did over here on the MPC sample, I think sequence number 9 was the one that I did the work on. And that's the one that we were working on because that's what exported over. And when I did the copy, it didn't do what I thought it did. Okay. I kind of don't want to delete all this track mute automation across all the tracks, but kind of stuck myself into doing it. Menu, list edit. Yeah, I did this. I did it. Delete. We just gotta. I could also go to the. I guess I could maybe go to grid view, but feel like this might be a little bit faster to grab everything. Oh, not insert. Delete. 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 If you guys are wondering what my pain threshold is for this stuff, it varies. It absolutely varies, but delete. Right now, because I'm just trying to learn what is going on to prevent myself from these kinds of issues in the future. It's kind of what we got. Must have had. And basically, yeah, okay. The thing to know is if at your 1-1 you have a marker, that's telling you generally that you've got another track mute somewhere in the track. There's probably a faster way to find it, but I'm just doing it my old-fashioned way here. Delete. Okay, got that. Nothing up top here. We got one. I think this might be the last track. Go check the top. Okay. I think the rest of these are good. Yep. All right. Let's do correctly what I intended to do, which is go copy sequence to track 4. And then go to track 4. I must have done something wrong where I actually didn't grab it. I don't know. Okay. Back to this. So I want to add an effect or something here. Let's go to effects. We'll just go grab. We'll start with Flavor Pro. If radio is probably too intense. Oh, because it's going to the submix, it's skipping it. This is an interesting problem. Hey, have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by. Reach out anytime if you want to chat about stuff. Okay. So there's no reason to put any effects on the track because it's completely skipping them because of how the routing's configured. Super annoying. And we can't change it. Presumably, let's just try. This is just showing us out 1. Can we get like something weird that's would be super obvious? Diode? Yeah, we're toast for this. We have to go to out 1. Or we can go to the submix. We can go to submix. We can add stuff here. There we go. Immediately. Gramophone might be a little too much here. The thing is, I don't want everything going through this. This sucks. It's not like the bass is... I mean, it's not terrible, but... not what I was looking for. All right. I don't want to render out. I kind of want to avoid rendering out stems, because if I want to do stems, I'm just going to take it into Ableton Live, which is probably the... If I wanted to do something to go crazy, that's probably what I should do, but I'm just looking at the time. I got to figure out how much more time I have to mess around with this. Maybe like 20 more minutes. And the reason why I'm trying to not be too cranky about this, but this was going to be something I thought was going to be easier to do. All right, we're just going to get what we get. I'm not going to sweat it. I'm not going to fight it. Might want to switch the order. We want that button. Whoops. I meant to hit the pencil. The reason I was hitting the pencil is I was like, I kind of want to pull the, like a low pass filter over everything, like a tiny bit. Like around 6K maybe? Did I just write that like a bozo? I'll watch it automate and then be like, what the heck am I doing? Should have been in read mode. Well, yep, it's automated. Okay. I did it to myself. Let's go. Automation. We wanted it all at around 6K. I don't care if it's automated or not. You know what? Let's just do like it. See how a sweep coming in sounds. Why make anything complicated? I want something more like extreme low. Like I want it to sizzle someplace here. Because it just sounds like it's mostly just the same. We can drop some of the drums out. We can move that stuff around. I can't automate. I have to automate across the entire track, which is annoying. Let's start with the bass. We're gonna go menu. Let's go edit. Yeah, we got the bass track here. Grid edit. I don't want this pumping bass through the entire track, so we've got 16 bars. Let's just edit out the last. Just cut them out. Get rid of that one as well. We're just gonna. I don't know. Let's go. Not even in the first 2 bars. This is the kind of lame way to do it, but doing what we're doing. Kind of wanted to add some scratches or something in here too, but we'll see if maybe if we get some time, if I get some time later in the day or tomorrow. All right. Well, we're just going to go noodle through the tracks. I probably will try and strategically find some places to remove some stuff on this main track because it is very loopy right now. And I would have used like flex beat or something on it by itself, but that is problematic. So for how we're doing stuff today, grid edit. I don't mind these. I don't mind the opening crash. This is what track? Hats. We should pull out a bunch of these. Like, we don't need this going through the whole track. Maybe not quite so much. We'll let it ride in on the second bar. We'll find a... I think leaving the second half of the track to let more play is a good idea. So I'm going to... Maybe we just make this kind of sporadic where stuff comes in. Do something similar. We'll take them out on the last two bars. I'm just going to do this like a... This will be kind of goofy, but this is what the more... It's the clav. We don't need this through most of the track. Let's let it be the middle section. We'll just cut it out. And we'll cut the clav out for the end. I know I'm doing this without listening to it, but it's okay. Main, we're on more hi-hats. I don't know, I kind of feel like the middle section here, get rid of it. I'm going to leave also just the very last two bars. Cut it out. Was this snare maybe? Snare. I'm kind of cool with leaving the snare everywhere. And kicks. Let's start without kicks. We'll let it come in. Well, it'll be like that, one of those hats. We'll let it kind of come in early. We're going to drop the kicks up until the back half. And then we'll, as I said, I think the back half's going to be more where we let everything play. And then just the last bar, we're going to cut this out. I might come back in and do like a few things where we, like, I replay some things or do it in the middle, but let's see what we got so far. I was like, why am I not hearing this? It is muted. Track mutes. Oh, they're all muted. It's not recorded though, so I can just freely unmute it. I actually feel like we can leave the bass out until there. Let's do that. Main, get to the bass track here. We're going to go grid edit. It's just going to come in at the 7. We're going to just leave it out. Another thing that we can do here to change some of the patterns is on the actual track itself. Like at 9, I think we need to change it up. It just sounds like the same so much. I'm going to do a transpose. We'll see how it sounds. Because I think, like 13, a return back to it as we fade back out is probably fine. So let's go here. And, oh, I can't do transposes because this is all mod. It's a mod track for 16 levels. What can we do that would allow me to carry that over? Is there a weird thing we can do here beyond just replaying stuff? I mean, I could do that. Slice, close. All right, I think we just gotta. I'll have to noodle something out. We'll just. I'm gonna write over it. I think. Let's go. Bars start at 9, and my habit is to always do play start. So I'm gonna have to remember not to do that. Oh, I had to get back here. Just play start, do what I want. Well, I made a huge mess. And contractors have just showed up, so I guess I'm gonna just drop here. Gonna go talk to the contractors and stuff, and figure out what the heck I'm gonna do with this part when I get back to it. We'll see if I stream it or do something else, but thanks everyone for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.